Hi there, Retro Tech Ralph here. This is a Sinclair ZX Spectrum 128+2 in grey. You know this because you've seen this plenty of times. Right, I've done as much as I thought was good enough to get this to as decent a standard as possible. But there are also other problems with this. Well, technically not with this. This actually works perfectly fine with the Future 8-bit card in the back. It's a shame they didn't make a grey one. Well, a faded greeny grey sort of one. This needs. I'll look into retrobrighting this further in the year, I think. I'm looking at something. I've got ideas, but it's concerning me. The stuff in the garage is I've got a slight film of water in here on certain things, so it's starting to get a little bit. It's getting warmer in the garage, but obviously things are getting moist. So I need to be careful with circuit boards and whatever else, and this is not going to be the end being in the garage. This is only the beginning, obviously, but I will be going eventually when I convert the loft into there, and that will be warmer and too warm in the daytime. It's a first world problem. I love these. Yeah, it's too warm in the day and it's too cold at night. But I'd like to go in the loft and maybe store stuff in the loft, put these in boxes and get them out of the way for the future. I don't understand why that's that long. I mean, I could easily just wrap that and put it in. But yeah, okay. It's how they build it. I'm sure there'll be. I mean, I'll actually probably meet the guys again who do Futures 8-bit in an expo soon or whatever soon. I met them at one of the guys at Blackpool last year. Really interesting to talk to. Absolutely brilliant to talk to. I'm sure he doesn't know who I was back then. I think last November. I didn't know who I were, to be honest. So hey-ho. So yeah, so everything's kind of covered in a bit of damp, which needs to dry out. We need a summer, or need a spring at least anyway. So, enough of me rambling on. I got this the other day. Another one of the mods is one of these chips. What you do is you take out the, I think it's the PAL chip. I think it's the PAL chip you rip out. That's not for that. And you put in this GAL chip. You put in the card, the chip holder in its place, and then you shove the GAL chip in. This is the Unrain, I think it is the Unrain modification. Apparently it doesn't show on everything, because I've never seen this, but it's when you play RoboCop 3, I think it is, and it kind of has these funny lines on it. That's down to one of the chips inside that you need to replace. So what I'm going to do, take out Future 8-bit card there. What did I press that in? I do like it. It's such a brilliant idea. Because when you get the older cards, the Kempton card, you had it for joystick port, but having a joystick port on top of a memory card reader to play all your Spectrum games, it's just, it brings an old system so much usable. Man, this is really wet. It brings it so you can use it a lot better. Because these used to be just thrown in the bin. It didn't work. I bet you a lot of people would have got these, especially the grey ones, and thought, yep, it's got a tape deck, brilliant. They always use the TV out, the RF modulator, because not many people use the composite cables. So you get one of these composite, and then it just, you see there's a problem because there was fixes before we've done, which take the diodes and swap them around, and that was a major fault with it, because you have really bad reception with it, really bad picture with it. But they've all been done. Picture looks absolutely stunning. But what we're going to get on with is taking this apart again and putting the GAL chip in. So let me get this stripped down, and get it ready. So I need to do a little bit more, a little feckling, and we'll get on with getting on with this gal chip modification. Right, I'm all ready. Let's get rid of this. Wow, it was warm. Let's get rid of the keyboard and the pen. Right, the HAL chip on here is something to do with the video card, with the video processing. It gives lines on certain games at certain times. So replacing the HAL chip with a gal chip, this, I am assured that this is already programmed, so I haven't got a faff with this. All I do is take it out, put the chip holder in, and then I'm done. Well, put the gal chip in first. So I'm ready. Solder sucker's ready. Put that to one side for a second. I've already got this marked off on the back of here, so let's get a little bit tighter in so you can see it. Let's move you over to there. So if I can keep that there, you should be able to see what I'm doing. Right, solder sucker's here, button on the side. It does just sucks a little bit. There's a video on this. It's not very good, but it does work. So all I need to do is there. One hole gone. It will make the fizzing noise because it's desoldered. It's the flux, so it'll start melting. It's quite hot, this gum, for some reason. And get that one. There we go. A bit better. Good. I don't fully want to destroy this chip. Oh, this sucking in the yes, the flux really can't be a good thing for me. I'm getting it right. There we go. I think I'll do more of the flux inhaling then. That one there might want a little bit more. There you go. So there you go. That's as much as with these cheap, crappy. I can't see this is going to last forever, but it's a short-term solution to a problem I don't have a lot of. Now I've definitely put too much of the flux on. Data liquid. Warm it up a bit. Where was that? Oh, Windows wants to reboot. Very ceremonious this. Oh, I'm gonna zoom out and show you this. I'll zoom in. Watch. I'm not sure you can see it either. Wider. Let's get it again. Because it's sucking in the flux as well as everything else. Chucking the smoke out as well. You don't need too much on this. But that's actually done quite an interesting enough job, to be honest. Get there. Oh. Oh. Hello. Focus. Focus. No. That's actually not. That's actually not bad. That. There's obviously flux in here. Needs to burn off, and I've got the roof space for this for it to burn this off. It's not like I'm indoors in a house somewhere. So hopefully that should be out. There we go. There you are, yes. So hopefully that should be the HAL chip out. So let's get something small like a screwdriver underneath it. I know it's not the best, but hey ho. That's not fully released. Now make sure all your pins are released. I'll just bent a pin. First one, bent it. Loose, loose, loose. See, the worst case is this is going back on afterwards. So I've not got a massive problem with the HAL chip, but there is issues with it. That's gone straight through. I need some more solder on that, so I've resoldered this with the desoldering head. So I don't have the normal soldering plugged in at the moment. So I'm trying to make sure everything's off. Put it on there. Beautiful. So I've had time with this. It's obviously you press the button, it sucks in, but then it spits out straight away. And I've had one where you've just gone, and it just spat solder all over the board. So if you're using one of these, be bloody careful. So let's turn that off a second. So don't fully trust it. It's on the side of there. Yeah, damn it. Now back on again. Need a bit more of the solder taken off. A little bit of an issue. That's better. Yeah, it's loose. Well, this should be off by now then. And with the projects I'm doing lately, it is kind of helping my soldering, desoldering techniques. But this really isn't. I need one of them chip pullers. I'll just pull the capacitor down to flat. That's not helping. So what's still on here? Just take your time. If you're doing this yourself, take your time, for God's sake. If there's a pin holding in it, it'll hold everything in. But like what I'm doing, if you want to keep the chip, and I do want to keep the chip in case there's a major cock up with the gal chip, then you need a backup idea. And I don't want to go through another spectrum. So give me a minute, let me get this off and I'll get back to you. Right, that could have been easier. Right, I'm just putting everything away. One HAL chip IC7 Spectrum grey board. Right, so everything's off, everything's cleaned out. It's a pain in the arse trying to get the oh, something in the lens here. I think I have actually. Excuse me. Well, that's even worse. Yeah, it's a pain in the arse taking that off there. But I've never took an IC chip off of a board before, so that's my first time. And the chip's there, it's in one piece. Look, everything's all in one piece. So I can put this quite easily back in. Right, what I did was a combination of desolder gun. Desoldered everything from the bottom of the board. Hey, look at that. I'm really good at this. Desoldered everything from the bottom of the board with a desoldering sucker, the cheap Chinese sucker that I've got, which kind of worked as well as what it does, which is fine, sort of. And tried to use a soldering iron to heat up because it didn't fully get everything out of the holes, and then use desolder braid to get as much out of a can. But then again, it didn't get everything because there were some parts of it, because it goes straight through the board and connects onto this side as well, so the heat kind of solders everything. So then I used the heat gun, and the heat gun kind of heated up quite a lot, and the chip should be perfectly fine. Can take the heat. It goes up to normal. I figured out that the grey one, I did a video for a while ago with this, this one, it just heats up, turns around, goes up to stupid temperature, but it's in Fahrenheit, so as long as you figure out that 350 is about soldering heat sort of temperature, according to the computer in front of me, 662 is 350 degrees Fahrenheit, so as long as that gets about 660, well, it's cold, pretty cool anyway, about 700 is probably as maximum as you need on one of these. But it did work, and it did all just completely lift off in one go. There's a bent leg there, but because of monkeys, it actually bloody worked. So, HAL chip, if you look carefully there, it's the HAL, an Amstrad 40061 chip, and this is going to be replaced by the GAL chip. Come on. Yeah, the GAL 16V8D chip. But firstly, we're going to stick this thing in, so we're going to make it easy to faff around with. So with a lot of patience and a lot of faffing and chuffing around, you've got all the holes, the HAL chip, in the right place, and it goes straight, just plops straight back in. Perfect. Hole at the bottom, which does coincide with the hole on the printing on the board, which I don't fully believe, because I've had that many problems with trying to get these actually, well, they're actually working. They all worked perfect to start with, but it's the rush. This is what you don't see in Dragon's Den. Well, the UK version of Dragon's Den is Alan Sugar going, yeah, I did this, I did that, yeah, I did this, but he made some piss poor, below standard stuff that somebody else had made and put cheaper components in and made them even worse. I mean, to do a board like this and put different transistors in, which are opposite way around. It's just cheap, it's nasty, but that's how he's made his millions and billions, and this is... Oh, I'd love to make that much money, but conning people out of, this is a great system, yeah, we did this. No, I'm sorry, I'm not bothered about that. So what I want to do is, I'm going to put that tissue on there. I need to flip round and get the soldering iron on, because I need that to be held in place when I solder something down. So that's there, it's soft, I can feel all the contacts for the chip there sticking through. Where are you? There you are. They're all sticking through, so all I need to get a couple. I'll do the diagonals when I'm holding it down when I'm resoldering this, but then when the chip socket is in place, I can quite easily put the HAL chip back in if I needed to. The GAL chip will go in. So I can see that a lot better actually. We zoomed in when it's been, because this is kind of it's going up, going up, going up. It's 2 foot away from the camera. So I should do another review on the Sony that I'm using, because that's 2 foot away from the camera with a decent zoom in. Let me zoom in more, because it goes there and doesn't really refocus. That's not bad actually. According to the screen I've got on yeah, that's actually not bad. But you can read everything of that on my little screen on the side of the camera. So that's pushing that in place. It feels fine. I think I've still got a lot of heat still in the gun. Not the gun, the soldering iron. There we go. Right. I'm going to put 2 corners in place on this. One in. To be honest, it's nicely held in place anyway. So I'm going to carry on soldering with the tissue under there. There's a little bit of flux still on there, which is helping out no end. Not too much soldering on here needs to be done. I need to fill it and flood it. Just little volcanoes, as they say. But with doing the Make a Bueno, it is learning me. The more soldering I do, the better I become. The more I can see. So, I mean, like that, I think there's a little bit too much on that top one. And I think now it's absolutely perfect. And I bet you any money, you can't tell. Don't be too much. Enough. Hold it in place, make sure it's perfectly round. So I've not done this channel now for a year. It's getting close to a year. But the amount of stuff I've actually learned in that time, it's absolutely ridiculous. I've learned that just don't be scared of something. Just do it. If the worst case happens, you have to buy another one. Don't be terrified of things. Have a go. Don't be content with, yeah, it's bought by a factory. Yeah, it's bought by a factory. It's made by a factory. I'll buy another one. Have a go. It's fun to do stuff like this. I'm doing my old one from the capacitor there. I'm gonna redo that one. Yeah. Done. That's a hell of a pair. You even use a solder for that on this one. This leg. Actually, that's pretty good. Not too much on that one, but soldering can rip it off. It's just techniques that you need. It's a little bit of faffing, fettling, just practice. I'm sure everybody in a electronics company doesn't start in there knowing what they're doing. It's just practice. So once that's cooled down, which it is, isopropanol, toothbrush, just to clean up, just to make me feel happy. Clean the toothbrush. These are absolutely almost perfect toothbrushes. Doesn't have to be over the top. I mean, all right, plug Colgate. It's a toothpaste for winners. I mean, you haven't got to have something over the top. If this was in a set from Superdrug, I think was it 3 of these toothbrushes for £2? Christ, I don't even give a flying monkeys if I break it or not. So for that price, get another one. So pat dry as much as I can. Done. Make sure I don't rip any of the tissue on there, and let's get out of here. No! But yeah, it's fine. Look, everything's spot on, perfect. Put that the right way around. It looks really nice. I'm really impressed with that. My soldering skills have gone up massively in the past year, or at least 10 months. I was asked by Neil at Retro Man Cave the other day, am I doing a 1 year anniversary video? And to be honest, not yet. But hopefully, well, I don't know, hopefully soon. It will be done soon. But I've got to wait until, I think it's April, when I first posted. I think we'll class that as anniversary. I mean, I know I did it before. Yeah, I was messaging Neil just to get tips and help and stuff like that, and he was like, just get on with it. I'm like, yeah, okay. Right, putting the chip on, the gal chip. Make sure the dot is coinciding with the notch that comes out of the bottom of the chip holder. These chips will naturally be splayed out a little bit, so they won't be perfectly in line to get in. So you need to just coax a little bit, just be steady, coax a little bit in, squeeze them in a little bit, as long as they look as near as damn it. Make sure your dot is down. If it doesn't fit, just press them in some more. Because if you go too much, you're going to go behind and onto the plastic. So you need to be in for it to nip in place. And they're not perfectly done yet. A little bit on this side. Just take your time. Make sure you're not thinking bad thoughts so you won't fuse the chip. No. If you look carefully on there is actually a dot on there, but there is also a notch taken out of the end. So line them up, you're done. Like that, to me, looks quite good. And there you go. Nothing fancy, nothing over the top. It's in, it holds. I am not going to be throwing this against the wall. I'm not going to be just giving this the full beans. It's going to be, why have I got stuff on there. I've got some crap on that chip, or is it on my finger from work? No. I think there was a little bit of, oh, what do you call this? Liquid, yeah, thermal compound, thank you. That I've got in my box with all the soldering stuff, and a little bit's just got on my finger or something that's been on here. It was overkill completely putting thermal compound of the Arctic bloody silver underneath there. It didn't need anything like that, but why not? I've got it. That's as good as I want. Well, it's bloody good for an expert, to be honest. The Arctic gold stuff, the Arctic silver stuff. So let's get this back into a Spectrum and see if the chip works. And here we are, back in. I've not got the tape deck in, I've not got the keyboard in, I've got the power supply there, the composite cable and the audio cable on there. I'm on the right channel on the TV. You can't see, because I haven't got video capture yet. It will be next month's project, shall we say. Well, next payday I'll be looking at doing, yeah, I want to do video capture so you can see. I can put a little in the top corner here sort of thing, what you can see. I have plans. Trust me, I have plans. Right, let's turn power on. The computer boots up. That's not that good, that. I've got wavy lines on here. Right, I'll go back to the older way. Why have I got wavy lines like that on there? Let's rethink something. This was already pre-programmed, which is good. Let me try and see if I can put the keyboard on. If it makes any difference at all. And plug that in that way. And the answer to that is a no. I've got the Spectrum keyboard on. I've got that there. I'm going to backdate a little bit. There's one transistor I swapped over, and I'm going to swap that back over again. It was the, if I remember, oh, TR8. I'm going to swap that one back over because I was never convinced that that was meant to go over anyway. So I'm just dismantling as we speak. I'm going to change that one to be the other way around. Unless that's a... Actually, what I'm going to do is hold you there. You can see on the top of the screen here, there's a bad interference there. I'm going to pull the GAL chip out and put the HAL one back in. Hold on. No, the interference is still there. So I'm going to continue with the GAL chip. Look, if it's like that, it's good enough to play, but take that out. I'm going to prise out the original HAL chip, which still works. Oh, it's a pain in the arse. There you go. Do need a chip puller. So that's out. I'm going to put the GAL one back in. Oh, I pulled one of the pins out of the chip holder as well. Back in. So if it all goes wrong, you know what I've just done. Right, power on. Right, it's still bad. Okay, this is not happy at all with this. That's pulling the cables out. Nothing really does anything. Alright, I'll remove that transistor, the TR8, back to as it originally were, because there's a lot of things which say yes, and a lot of things that say no with the TR8, and I did, but I'm going to change over, get it took out and put back in the other way around. So give me a couple of minutes to get that done. Okay, change the TR8 round. Let's get the power on now. Oh, that's a hell of a lot better. There's still certain bits on the screen that I am seeing, but that's a hell of a lot better picture. Right, hint, there's a TR8 isn't essential. There's a line coming down here of interference. So the GAL chip is in, the TR8 is back to as it originally is in the factory. The oh god, 4, 5 and 7 transistors are the other way around. I can still see a little bit. This could be my TV being absolutely crap. And I can see on some letters, the M, the L, there's a bit of blue shadow. But I think from a composite cable, I think this is going to be as good as what it's going to get. I mean, it's kind of coming down. There's an interference level there. Maybe there's some other. I know I took the capacitor off as well. I think what I'm going to do is put that back on again. This capacitor here. I'm going to put that one back on as well. See if that makes any difference. Because there's meant to be a mod that you take that capacitor off of. Where are we? C31. Which is kind of midway between TR4 and TR6 above IC2. That's not a bad picture. Just to consider that it's an old system. Alright, I'm going back. I'm going to put the capacitor back into C31. Because there's a mod on there. Take the C31 out and you put a lead between one of the sides and to something else, and there's a resistor. I can't find exactly what the mod is, but it's removing that and then using it to go from one place to another. Actually, I'm looking at the screen now. I think that interference bar's got. Now it's there. It's barely noticeable. It's hard to see. It's coming back up the screen now. But I'm going to put that capacitor back in, see if it makes any difference at all. So give us a sec. C31 is back in place. I'll show you these in a second, but I'm doing this and I'm getting obsessed with these little bloody orange capacitors which I need to have stood up, and I don't know why. I think I'm OCD about it. Everything has to be sticking straight up and it looks perfect on the board. But okay, ignore that for a bit. Right, watch the screen. I'll turn this back on with C31 back on. That's worse. Oh no, that's yep, no. There's an interference line coming down, but there's also there's a hell of a lot of scan lines coming out. Not scan lines, it's interference lines. And there's more blue on here. So I need to look into taking C31 off and what exactly the capacitor is. And the resistor you need to put on board here. I'm not even sure that's interference from anything particular. Alright, I'm going to put this back together again. The spectrum's going back together again. And I'm going to put... Alright, before I do that, I'm going to put everything back in a load of game, but I'll show you what exactly C31 was. It's this chip here. And this tiny little capacitor there. Now taking that off gives you a bit better picture. It's actually quite, we're looking at it now, it looks quite bad. There's other bits, but I think the GAL chip mod, which is there, is actually fine. It's actually running a little bit better with it, and it will be more prevalent when there's certain games that will be used on. But actually putting that small capacitor back in is going to make it worse. Let me plug in put the cable back in and a load of games, see if it does any difference with the screen itself. So give me a second again, and no, cut again. So back in a minute. Back in, let's have a look. Power's on. Detecting devices. There's a lot of yellow on there and a lot of blue. Okay, so down. I want to actually see, because it's Robocop 3, I'm sure it is. So let me load Robocop in. If I've got it. Racing, RAM, alright, let's use these ones. R-E. Yeah, I think that Robotron, Robocop 3, what is Robocop 4? Ah, hold on. Doesn't want to load that file. Loading again, right. So, that's hard. Let's see what this thing will do. And this was the Unrain. Yep. Oh, okay. Doesn't want to play it anyway. That's a reboot. Ah, right, okay. Let's try that again. I'm not sure an R-type person, to be honest. RAM, I want row. See, the colours on here are just not that good. I'm not that impressed. Robocop TZX? No. Selector file is loading. Doesn't seem to want to load this anyway. So maybe the Unrain version just doesn't really matter. I do have a buzzing. So maybe there's audio mods I can do with this. It's such a crap system, the Spectrum, innit? But it just... I don't want to load it at all. Press space then. Okay, so... I love R-type, so let's put a tap file in for R-type. Ah, stop the tape. Yes, stopped. It stopped. Give me the game. There's no escape key up there. Break. Yes, left, right. Fire. I think I need a... Give me some music. Now. No. Okay, I don't want to do it. But hey ho. I'm sure I need a joystick in there. Lucid Dream software. Come on. Give me it. Yep. Oh, give over. Press fire to play. Is that one? A key. What? Left. Right. Up, down. Fire. Yeah. Left. Right. Up, down. Fire. Touch. What? Oh no. So... left, right, up, down, fire, detach. Enter. No, I don't want enter. Ah, I know what I did wrong. Let's fire to play. Oh no! That's anything. It works. I'm going to try something. I'm going to take that capacitor off and see what happens. So, give me a sec. Again, sorry, it's taking too long this, I know it is. Should be done by now. Hello. Retrotech right in there now, you know it. Right, I've took the capacitor back out again. There it is. Put it safely on the side there so I don't sneeze. Plugging back in. It's that capacitor. Do not give it absolute crap. There's a tiny bit of wavy... something at the top of the screen coming down here. You might see it in a second. Little bit. It's negligible. I think if I find out what the capacitor, what to branch between where this capacitor actually goes and the resistor, which is quite close to it. There's a video. Not a video. There's no videos out there. That's the problem with this. Where exactly it is, and I can put that would probably get rid of this. But taking that capacitor out, this ruddy thing. The screen is so much better. It's amazing. So let's get on with putting this back on. Nah, that's me playing with the power cable again. Ignore me. Right, power back on. Oh, I put the memory card in, there we go. Thought I'd knackered the Futures 8-bit card then, but I'd not. I've just not plugged the bloody card in the back. So it comes up with Amstrad, press the reset button. Right, down. That looks a bloody shitload better. Right, I'll try and get that Robocop one on again. R-E, R-I, R-O. Right. See, is that Robocop? Robocop or COD? You just don't know. So I'll press. The TZX files don't work. I don't know what they are. But the Z80 files do. So I press return. You know, that screen looks absolutely amazing. It looks absolutely stunning. From a composite cable, this looks absolutely bloody brilliant. And I think the TV's not a 1080p, I think it's a 480p or something like that, maybe 720 if I'm lucky. That picture looks so clear, it's ridiculous. So I'm really happy with that. Can't get it to load, obviously. Right, my favourite game is Equinox, and I won't play that because you've seen it. Right, let's go. Still got problems being the wrong way around as well. See, I don't know what game. This is the problem with having a full set of games in front of you. This is kind of. I want to do museums of systems where you've got a full spectrum set, which I've got here, on a system where you've got an Xbox, because I need a bigger hard drive for the Xbox. Okay, for keyboard. Alright, no, yep. One. Alright. A full. Is it a jump? What's the. I've got N and M as left and right. What's up and down? Help, quickly. Oh, like that one. Oh. No, might be. Yes. Yes. That picture is absolutely. So what it is brilliant. Still, I can see a little bit there, so it's not perfect. And I know Bomb Jack goes, you have to get the one that's lit. That's a shitload better than what it was. Hell of a lot better. We take that capacitor out. So I'm looking to what is out there to do with that. But other than that, Spectrum absolutely working a billion times better with the new chip on board. Right, a little bit of a boo-boo here. Went back together, everything seemed fine, and it's working perfectly. However, we put in the GAL chip in, I forgot to put a cable on the motherboard. So from pin 12 on the GAL chip to the pin 28 on the RFSH. So, back to pieces again. I think it's... where are we? So the GAL chip is on there. I think it shows you it's possibly here. I want to make sure that it comes across. What is it? Well, the picture on the net in front of me. Might be that way around. Okay, let me get on with this and I'll quickly cut back in a few moments and this will all be done. Okay, all done and done. Comes from the CPU pin 28, which is over here, and goes to pin 11 on the gal chip, which is over here. Now what I do is put this back in, plug it in, and see if she works. Right, final step. I need to test this, that it actually works. Right, I'm going to switch it on, and I need to run a test program in BASIC. So I'm going to tilt you over to the screen, as you can see there. Just stop still. Right, down to BASIC, and print. This is what they recommend on a web page I'm on. I think it's the Spectrum for Everyone web page. It's print in 3.2. No, backspace. It's delete. Yeah, the wrong side. 3.2. 765. And if it returns 255 and doesn't crash, it's all working. So you've got that up there. Not to that off, you can't see properly. Turns to 255. There you go. Job done. Cal chip working perfectly. Or as good as I'm expecting. I think a lot of there's tiny bits I can see on the screen anyway. But I think this is as good as I'm going to get with the without using a SCAR cable. At present, I'm happy with that. So anyway, let's cut back into the original ending of the video and get this job finished, because this is finished now. The Spectrum is done, so I'm all happy. There it is, in pieces as usual. I'll put this back together and have my tea. It's getting quite late now and I'm kind of really hungry and mardy. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, turn the light on, and I'll see you in the next video. If you're new to the channel, hi. If you want to help out, and it does bloody help a lot by being a Patreon, please consider. There's links in the description to be a Patreon. If there isn't, please tell me and I'll put them in there. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Spectrum's bloody brilliant. Thanks you to the Future is 8-bit. If you want one of these, get in touch with the Future was 8-bit. They're just absolutely brilliant. I think it just brings an old system like this and it just brings it straight to the 21st century. So I'll see you next video. Bye for now.